Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Good morning students, welcome to physics class. So we are discussing about connected body problem. We have discussed about different types of connected bodies. Bodies passing through the pulley, bodies connected to the string and hanging, and bodies connected to the string and placed on a frictionless surface, as well the attached body or connected body connected on themselves. In today's class, what are we going to discuss is, it is the combination of body which are connected through the string and passing through the pulley, as well as the body which is on the surface of a horizontal frictionless surface. Okay, we'll start with the basic thing now. So let me consider two masses. So there is one table here. Okay, fine. This is a table. There is one pulley here. Okay. This is a frictionless, massless pulley, and there is one mass here. Let me call it as M1, and which is connected to another mass M2, and they are connected through a string, and string is passing through this pulley. This is how they are connected. What is the direction of acceleration? They are connected through a string and string is passing through the pulley. The acceleration is here is this word and here it is downward. Means M2 is heavier than M1. It's understood. Acceleration is towards M2. What about the tension acting here? T, and the tension acting here is T. So now how will you derive, or what is the expression for acceleration and tension acting on the string? What is the acceleration and tension acting on the string? So for that you have to, so if you are going with the plain method, then find the free body diagram of M1. What are the forces acting on M1? Vertically you don't have to consider because they are balanced. Vertical forces on M1 is balanced. What I am trying to tell you here is, weight of M1 into G is equal to normal force acting here. So vertically they are balanced. Horizontally, which are the forces acting on M1? The tension, right? Tension is acting. Tension is always acted outward. So acceleration is along the direction of tension. So you can say that by applying Newton's second law, tension is equal to M1 into A. Am I right? Okay. Next, move to the free body diagram of M2. What are the forces acting on M2? Here you can't neglect the weight of M2 because weight of M2 is not balanced by any of the other force. It is accelerating. This body is not accelerating. See, you have to visualize that. This is your M1, this is your M1 which is moving horizontally. This is not moving vertically. If it is placed on the table this way, it is moving horizontally, it is not moving vertically. Vertically it is not accelerating, but M2 it is hanging around, right? It is moving vertically only, horizontally it is not moving, it is moving vertically. So M2 is accelerating vertically. So the forces acting on M2 are, one is weight of M2 into G, another one is tension. Okay. So acceleration is towards weight, so obviously weight of the M2 is greater than tension acting on the string. M2 into G minus T is equal to M2 into A. So M2 into G minus M1 into A is equal to M2 into A. Therefore M2 into G is equal to A times of M1 plus M2. What is acceleration? M2 into G divided by M1 plus m2. See, acceleration is force by total mass. Total mass is right. Force is weight. This weight. Correct? Okay. Then what about the tension? Tension acting on the string. So tension is m1 times of acceleration. Acceleration is m2 into g divided by m1 plus m2. So this is your tension. This is by free body diagram method. How to arrive at the direct formula, I will tell you. We'll move to the next method, next way of connected body, or next kind of bodies which are connected. So here what you have to do is you should consider an inclined surface. This is horizontal. You should consider an inclined surface this way. This inclined surface, right, it makes an angle theta with the horizontal surface. Now, here you have a pulley and a mass is hung through a string. This is m2. And to the same string there is one more mass which is placed on this inclined surface. So this mass m1 is placed on this inclined surface. Okay, this is m1, this is m2. Now, what are the forces acting on the string? Tension. Here tension is upward, here also it is upward tension. What is the direction of acceleration? Acceleration is downward here, here it is upward. So which is greater in a weight? m2 is greater in a weight, correct? If the acceleration is towards m2, m2 is greater in a weight, correct? Now, what is the acceleration of this system? You have to draw the free body diagram. Let's start from m2. m2, the forces acting on m2 is, one is weight of m2 itself, m2 into g. Another one is tension, acceleration is downward, therefore what will be the equation? m2 into g minus tension is equal to m2 into a. Well, what about m1? See, this is your inclined surface and here is your m1. So then this will be your weight, correct? m1 into g. So one of the forces acting on m1 is tension. In this direction, tension is acting. Okay. Acceleration is towards tension, so tension is greater. But weight of m1 is not nullified here because weight is acting this way. This weight can be resolved. How will you resolve this weight? One is along x-axis, that is mg cos theta. Why theta? Because this angle is theta, correct? This angle is theta. Another one is m1 into g sin theta. I hope you are understanding this. m1 is placed on the inclined plane inclined surface. So weight here, the forces acting on m1 which are not balanced are, one is tension, another one is weight, but weight is not acting along x-axis or y-axis. So weight is making an angle. This is m1 into g. This m1 into g can be resolved along x-axis and along y-axis. What is x-axis? m1 into g cos theta. This is m1 into g sin theta. So now, which are the unbalanced forces? Tension and m1 into g sin theta are the unbalanced forces. These two are balanced, or the component of y component of weight of m1 is unbalanced. X component is balanced. This is how x component should be. X component is balanced. So now, by applying Newton's second law, you can say that acceleration is towards tension, so tension is greater, minus, which is the force opposite to that? m1 into g sin theta. Am I correct? Tension, body is, how do you know that? m1 into g sin theta is not balanced because this body is accelerating in that direction. So T minus m1 into g sin theta is equal to m1 into a. So from equation 1 and 2, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So when you solve this, what do you get? m1 into g, you should add them, okay? You should add 1 and 2. What do you get? m1 into g, t gets cancelled, minus m1 into g sin theta, sorry, m2 into g is equal to m1 into a plus m2 into a. So a is m1 plus m2, here it is m2 into g minus m1 into g sin theta. A is equal to m2 into g minus m1 into g sin theta divided by m1 plus m2. This is your acceleration. Now, what is the tension? Tension is equal to m1 into, or tension is equal to m2 into g minus m2 into a. So m2 into g minus m2 into g, sorry, m2 into g minus m1 into g sin theta divided by m1 plus m2. So what will this be? This will be equal to tension is equal to m2 into g minus m2 square into g minus m1 m2 into g sin theta divided by m1 plus m2. If you take the LCM, m1 into m2g plus m2 square g minus m2 square g minus m1 m2 g sin theta divided by total mass. This gets cancelled. So m1 m2 g minus, sorry, 1 minus sin theta into g divided by m1 plus m2. This is your tension. So much to do for tension. m1 into m2, 1, this should be plus, right? This will be plus. So 1 plus sin theta into g divided by m1 plus m2. So all these methods are very tedious. So how to arrive at direct formula? See, we know the two formulas. Acceleration is equal to net force, net external force divided by total mass. Am I correct? Force divided by mass is acceleration. If you have many bodies which are connected, then sum of the mass. And tension is equal to mass times of acceleration. Correct? Mass times of acceleration. Here, what is acceleration? Net force. What are the net force acting on the system? There are so many forces. One is weight of this and normal force. They balance. And another one is tension. And another one is tension acting here and weight of m2. But this acceleration is due to the weight of m2, correct? If there is no weight for this m2, then this wouldn't have accelerated. Am I correct? So can you write that acceleration here is nothing but weight of m2 divided by total mass, that is m1 plus m2. Because weight of this is not contributing for acceleration. And tension is due to these two masses. So the tension you can't consider for acceleration. Tension can't be a net force. Tension is a consequences of two weights. So the only weight which is responsible for this acceleration is m2. If m2 is not there, the weight of m2 is not there, this body, whole system wouldn't have accelerated. Correct? So m2 is the net force divided by m1 plus m2. m1 plus m2 is the total mass of the whole system. Correct? Okay. Then what about the tension? See, tension. If m2 doesn't exist, whether the tension do exist? No. So m2 should be multiplied and it should be on the numerator. If m2 existed, m2 is there, but m1 is not there, still tension wouldn't have been there. Only when two masses are there, the string will be stretched and tension would come into action. So both m1 and m2 should be multiplied. Correct? So how many forces here are acting? How many external forces? One is weight of m2, another one is weight of m1 and normal force of m1. Weight of m1 and normal force acting on m1 get cancelled. They nullify each other. Only remaining is weight of m1. So only one force is acting, so 1. And what about G? If there is no gravity? Correct. Divided by total mass. For tension always denominator is total mass, so m1 plus m2. Do I have the same answer? m1 m2 into G divided by m1 plus m2? Yes. This method works. Correct? Okay. Next, let's move to the second type. Here, acceleration is net force divided by total mass. Total mass on the denominator m1 plus m2. What is the net force here? What is the external forces acting on the whole system? One is weight of m2, another one is weight of m1. Weight of m2 is directly acting downward because m2 is hanging, so weight is directly acting downward. But m1 is not directly acting downward, it is acting at an angle theta because m1 is on the inclined plane, so that is not directly, see, this is horizontal surface. So weight of this object will be acting directly downward. If I make this inclined, then if I place an object here, weight of this is not acting downward. Correct? See, one is horizontal, another one is inclined. The weight of this is downward, but weight of this is at an angle theta. This is not downward, this is at an angle theta. So weight can be resolved. Weight is a vector because it is a force, it can be resolved. So you can't consider m1 into G as an external force here. m1 into G sin theta and m1 into G cos theta are the external forces. But m1 into G cos theta will be nullified. m1 into sin theta, m1 into G sin theta is the component of weight of m1 and weight of m2. They are responsible for the acceleration of two bodies. Now which is greater, m2 is greater or m1 is greater? Obviously m2 is greater because acceleration is towards the m2 or towards the weight of m2. So the net force means what? m2 into G, weight of m2 minus y component of m1, m1 into G sin theta, weight of m2 minus m1 into G sin theta, weight of m2 minus y component of m1. Only those two forces are responsible for acceleration. See, this force is not if it is responsible, then body would have get accelerated along horizontal direction. But now it is accelerating in a vertical direction. The forces responsible for acceleration is weight of m2 and the y component of m1. So weight of m2 minus y component of m1 is responsible. Correct? Okay. Now how can I write this as? So this can be written as acceleration is equal to m2 minus m1 sin theta into G divided by m1 plus m2. Have I got the same answer? Correct. Well students, so here acceleration is We got the answer. Now how to derive the expression directly for tension? See, on the denominator m1 plus m2, we know that. Correct? For the tension, denominator is m1 plus m2. So on the numerator, if m2 doesn't exist, whether this tension will exist? If one mass is not there, then the string won't stretch. If the string doesn't stretch, there is no tension. So if m2 is not there, string wouldn't stretch. If m1 is not there, then still the string wouldn't stretch. So m1, correct, okay. Into, then you should write the sign of angle between both the corners. What is the angle here? 90 degree, correct? So sin 90 plus, what is the angle here? Theta, sin theta. If these two angles together doesn't exist, then the tension wouldn't be there. Let's say this is 0, then this surface would be horizontal, tension wouldn't exist, correct? You should visualize this. Let's say this is 0, then this is also 0. If both are 0, then the surface would be horizontal, right? This inclined surface will be horizontal. Now this surface is inclined. If these two become 0, then this will be horizontal. If it is horizontal, m1 will be placed here, m2 will also be placed on the surface. So it wouldn't exist, stretch wouldn't takes place, then tension wouldn't exist. So sin 90 plus sin theta, these two angles, sine of those two angles responsible. And G, if G is not there, then weight won't be there, then stretch wouldn't be taken place, then there is no tension. Now how can I write this as? Tension is equal to m1 into m2, sin 90 is 1 plus sin theta into G divided by m1 plus m2, correct? Okay, to be even more clear, let me take one more example. Here I consider an inclined surface this way, okay? There is one pulley and there are two masses, mass m1 and mass m2. They are connected through the string passing through the pulley. Now m2 is greater, let's say, then acceleration is downward here, acceleration is upward here. Tension is T, tension is T. Let me take this angle as alpha, this as a beta. Am I correct? Alpha and beta angle. Now how to write the acceleration of it? What is the acceleration of this whole system? So acceleration is net force divided by net mass. So what will be the denominator, students? So denominator is m1 plus m2. There is no doubt in that. What is net force? Weight of m1 and weight of m2. But these are placed on a horizontal surface. So weight of m1 is acting this way. This is m1 into G. Weight of m2 is acting this way, which is m2 into G. Now you have to resolve them. How to resolve? So this m1 into G along x-axis is m1 G sin alpha, because this is alpha, then this should also be alpha. I am sorry, cos alpha. This is horizontal, right? Okay. And this is m1G sin alpha. Okay. Then how about this m2? So along x-axis m2G cos beta, because if this is beta, this should also be beta. And along here m2G sin beta. Am I clear now? Okay. m1 and m2 are placed on a horizontal surface, inclined surface. I am sorry, not horizontal, inclined surface. So their weight is, if it is horizontal, weight would act like this. But now they are acting at an angle theta. Weight of both m1 and m2. Those weights should be resolved along x and y axis. So m1 its components are m1g cos alpha and m1g sin alpha. The weight of m2, its component are m2g sin beta and m2g cos alpha. Now tell me which is the net force responsible for this acceleration. Whether this component responsible for the acceleration, whether this component responsible for the acceleration. No, m1g cos alpha is acting horizontally towards my right and m2g cos beta is acting horizontally towards my left. So these two are acting horizontally, these two bodies are vertically accelerating. So these two doesn't contribute for this acceleration. They don't contribute anything for the acceleration. Only those components which are responsible for this acceleration is one is m2g sin beta and m1g sin alpha. In that which is greater? Obviously m2g sin beta, because acceleration is towards that. So you can say that m2g sin beta minus m1g sin alpha. This is net force. So now g is common, take it outside. So m2 sin beta minus m1 sin alpha by m1 plus m2 into g is nothing but acceleration of this system. If you go with the free body diagram also, you should get the same answer, students. m2 sin beta minus m1 sin alpha into g divided by m1 plus m2. Now what is the tension? So deriving expression for acceleration is not a big deal. Now we have become practiced with that. So tension is little complicated. So what is the tension? Again, denominator of the tension is m1 plus m2. You know that. Numerator. If m2 is 0, means m2 mass doesn't exist. Whether the tension would exist? No. If m1 doesn't exist, whether the tension exists? No. Then you should multiply it by m1 and m2. Okay. And then two angles, right? Addition of sine of two angles. Sin alpha plus sin beta. Sin alpha plus sin beta into g. So this is what your tension is. Am I clear now? In a previous case we just had one inclination. So this will become sin 90 degree. This is sin theta. So sin 90 degree plus sin theta. But here sin alpha plus sin beta. So yeah, I hope you are familiar with the formulas related to inclined surface now. In the next class we will discuss about even more complicated terms. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.